Hello Pisces, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the White Newman, a sacred animal tarot created by Elba BG. There's a website at the bottom, Liminal 11, feel free to check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron Reed. There's some websites in the bag I finally found. I knew it was there somewhere, but I found the other website I'm looking for. There's some, and then here's the Colette Baron Reed website at the end of that paragraph with her picture there. So, and there's a couple other things. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you want to, of course. I was like, last week I was like, I know it's there. I couldn't find it to save my life, but it was there. Okay. What do we have for Pisces? Ooh, double cards. What are you resisting? We're just going to stop there? Okay, we're just going to stop there. Which is fine. We got all of those out. What are you're resisting something? High Lady of Compassion. This fell out while I was shuffling, and I put it back in. Apparently I should have left it out. But it's here either way. It's ironic to me that you're resisting something, but you're probably doing what you need to do at the same time. So, for example, if this is a job, you're getting done what you need to do, but you're resisting the change that needs to happen. Or there's a change waiting for you. This could be something that you weren't very open to begin with. I don't think my phone rang, but I thought I heard it for a second there. Somebody literally might be calling you. I guess that could be a thing. There's been possibilities around you for a while. And I feel like you've been avoiding this for a while. Maybe for the last 3 or 4 months. Granted, this reading is valid for whenever you come to it. But for the last 3 or 4 months, you might have been avoiding a possibility. Maybe something that rolls around in your brain and you're just like, I don't really think I want to do that. And you've kind of backed off from it. There's a change that's coming in. Now, when I say it's coming in, I feel like the Devil card here is more about I'm not embracing it. I feel like I'm blocking it. I feel like you're maybe physically blocking it or emotionally blocking it. The Seven of Wands is like holding that line. So like the way this card is depicting it kind of makes sense to me. Kind of like, I don't want this change, I'm not really confident with it, or maybe I don't understand enough about it to really feel like it's going to be a good thing for me. Could be a job change, could be anything. It's a change, though, that you have to move forward to, and for some reason I feel like it keeps kind of like, I'm getting the thought of haunting you. It just keeps showing up, and it's kind of like a haunting thing, kind of like most people don't get excited when they're being haunted. Some people are okay with it. But this is like a ghost that you're just like, I don't really think I'm comfortable with that. That one of those things. One of those ghosts that are watching you in the shower. One of those things, if you follow me. Most people don't care for that either. It's kind of like, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to pretend it's not happening. That type of thing. But you're at the point where it's time to make that decision. It's time to start stepping forward for it to be the easiest progression for you. If you start stepping forward now, you release stagnation. You get the Nine of Wands. You release the block. Like you release stagnation. It's not going to change super fast, but fast enough. Does that make sense? So maybe it's a job. If I keep getting job references, it doesn't have to be. It's a general read. Take it however it resonates for you. But I keep getting like those analogies, so I'm guessing it's going to hit for a lot of people that way. It's like I feel like I'm taking a step backwards, and I don't want to do it. I feel like I know about this situation already, and it's like I already did that. I don't want to do that again. It could have that feeling to it. That's why the Devil card is there. Kind of like, I know what that's about, and I don't want that again. But I feel like I have to. The thing is, there's things here that you don't know. I don't feel like you're going back into the same situation, but to you it might feel like I've already done that. I don't want to do that again. And that might be why you're resisting it, which would make sense. I'm saying that as a Pisces. I feel like that makes total sense where you're like, oh, I'll do that again. No. Like, I'm looking back at some jobs I've had, and I'm like, I'm like cringing to even give the example, but I'll give it. I've worked on the phones before, and I don't mind talking to people, but it was a job where people were already angry at the institution I worked for, and then I pick up the phone and I'm supposed to make them satisfied in some respect, within reason, which I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but like I'm getting that analogy and I cringe to even talk about it. I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. I don't like the idea of doing that. It's coming forward. It's coming forward pretty quickly here. The sooner you get on board with it, the sooner you start taking those steps forward, the easier this gets for you. The way it's currently playing out, just to be fair, the option's right here in front of you. It's ready to move forward. If you don't move forward with it, you're going to incur a block, and you won't be able to get past that block until you make this choice. There's going to be something in your way. The pressure is going to be building. So whatever's building around this situation to make you even slightly consider it, that pressure is going to get heavier and heavier and heavier until you finally do it. I feel like this is something the universe is pushing you towards. And I also feel like once you get past it, you're going to be surprised that it's not as bad as you remembered, because I think there's differences between the last time and this time. So there's total differences in how you're handling things. I already showed these, I think. There's ups and downs for this energy. This energy is very stable. This energy can also be very stubborn. So, know where you're standing right now. Hold to your stability. If you're feeling like, if you can recognize something you're being stubborn with, once you recognize it, you know what to do with it. It's up to you to break that. Because Pisces do have a lot of strength when push comes to shove, but it's like where that strength is leading you. At least I'm a Pisces, and I feel like we have more of a muted strength most of the time, but when you really push us, it's there, if you follow me. For most of us anyway. Charts are complicated, I know. This is waiting for you. There's pentacles waiting for you. Pentacles that can go more to your benefit than not. This energy is willing to work with you moving forward. So if it is a job thing or whatever it is, you do have negotiability. Which I'm getting, if you go towards it now and start opening the door now, the negotiations are more in your favor now than like if you wait until there's so much pressure that you have to change. It's a lot less. It's like, I don't know how to explain that. It's like if you're doing from 1 to 10, 10 being the most, 1 being the least, you're probably at an 8. For negotiability, it's 8. It's at a level 8. So a lot of this can go your way. Can everything? No, but a lot of it can. If you wait until it gets to this level, it could be like a level. It could be like 2. You have more power. You have more of creating this the way you want it moving forward now. That's the advantage to moving forward now. If you wait... So I hate this analogy. So it's kind of like, say I had to go back to working on the phones, so just for argument's sake. If I go into it now, maybe I don't have to work on the phones, but I have to deal with customers like that, but maybe I could do it through texting. Like people do text things and they do a lot of stuff like that. Or maybe there's a different piece of it. Maybe I can do some of the more of the back end stuff. I wouldn't have to do the front end stuff. That type of thing. I'd still have to be a part of the system, but not the part that I didn't really care for. I'd still have to be a part of it, just not that stressful part. If I wait, it's kind of like, well, it could be closer to what I didn't like. Not exactly what I didn't like, but closer to it than I really care for. So maybe I still don't have to be on the phone all the time, but maybe half the day, if you follow me. So it's kind of like if I get into that now, I deal with it now, I'm still a part of a situation I'm not really super skippy yippy happy about, but it's a lot more palatable than if I waited and then it's like, I feel like y'all get it. If this is hitting, I feel like y'all get it. Your outcome. This is interesting to me. I'm going to use the dice before I talk, because it's a good outcome. It's very interesting. It seems like money is in your favor. So this situation, I feel like that's why I keep mentioning like business connections, because I do see like money going in your favor. 6 of Pentacles, compensation, and then the Strength card, half in, half out. So you got the seasons going on, Sisters of the Seasons, which is a beautiful card. It kind of reminds you that like it doesn't stay really good, but it doesn't stay really bad, and it transitions in and out. So it's kind of like do what you got to do when it's not the best, and just get through it. Do what you need to do, and then when it starts getting good, and enjoy it as much as you can. And when it's at the high point, make it the best you can. This situation you're going into is going to have an ebb and flow. It's being aware of the ebb and flow and using it to your advantage. I keep getting like that 10 of Pentacles makes me feel like there's a monetary advantage here, like something money-wise. It feels good. The money feels good. Like I'm happy with that portion of the situation. I also feel like you're very wanted, especially if you get into this earlier. I do feel like it has something to do with money, but it seems to be more in your control. More, I'm saying this as a Pisces, like you get into it earlier, people know what you want, people keep you where you want to be, they want to keep you around, and it seems smoother. It's not always going to be wonderful, but it's not always going to be bad either. It's going to kind of slide in and out, but I feel like normal things in life tend to do that. I've known people who said that they've had decades where things were really good, and decades where they really weren't, but it just kind of slides in and out. I can look back at my own life and can see periods where it was very rough, and then it got out of that, it got really good, and it never got as bad as it was before. But like, I'm kind of getting that too. If I want to, like, I feel like that's why I keep yammering on about it, because I'm getting this circle thing, right, like a cycle. But I feel like every time it goes around, it's a little better every time. Like it never gets as bad as it was, and it gets a little better than it's been. Does that make sense? So, so like the high point was a 10, the low point was a 1. The high point's 11, the low point's a 2. The high point's a 12, the low point's a 3. And it just keeps going like that. And I feel like whatever this is, because especially if you're going towards it and dealing with it and just like addressing it, I do feel like every time the cycle happens, even when it goes down, it never goes down as far as it was the last time. And after the 3rd or 4th time, it's like it doesn't feel nearly as bad as it did the first time, because you're getting better at it. So this is a cycle. This might not be popular. This is a cycle that's not really going to break, but that's going to improve. And that might not be a popular thing. Whatever this is, it doesn't feel like this is a cycle that will be broken. It feels like this is a cycle that you are getting better at, you're improving at, and you're also helping others improve. I feel like that's why this cycle is not breaking. It might be an unpopular opinion. Take it with a grain of salt. If that doesn't feel good to you, just move on from it. Don't worry about it. But I do feel like this is something that keeps happening because you keep improving, but you're helping others improve. You're important to the situation. And I feel like it's... So for some of you, this could be a family thing where it's just like, well, my family's my family. You're not going to change those. They're going to be who they are. So it might be this cycle for that reason, that it keeps improving and you're helping other people improving, and it never goes away. In fact, when I say that, I'm like, for some of you, this is definitely family, because I can see how, like, there's just cycles. And just, like, even if you stay away from certain people, sooner or later they pop up, and you're like, okay. So things are getting better. The sooner you deal with it, the sooner you get into it, the easier it is, the more palatable it is for you, the more likable it will be for you. And they're saying it's going to be something, there is still, no matter what way you go, there's some type of monetary advantage for you. I would go towards it and embrace it. Then you can make peace with it, and then you can just enjoy your life even that much more. Once it's solved, once you've dealt with it, once you face it and embrace it, the devil no longer holds you down. That power is kind of nullified. Your strength comes up, and you find out you can deal with this a lot easier. It's kind of like the worry about it was worse than the actual dealing with it. And it's like the more I hold it off, the more I keep it at bay, the more I don't deal with it, the more pressure I have from it. Once I get into it, once I start dealing with it, it's nowhere near as heavy as it was when I was more worrying about it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Are we good? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.